Pow wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Pound number 7, and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. As always, we'll dive into the love of the community and really dive into the love of the community. Then talk about what is happening on the SwissBorg network. Talk about what's happening in crypto, that we are finally witnessing the bull 2024 with Bitcoin getting to 50,000, which is crazy. But there's more things to be done, of course, within the SwissBorg network. We're talking about the gaming thematic that's been just released today with a great amount of appetite, seeing big inflows over there. A new strategy on DAI. I mean, a strategy that's been for on DAI, but it's very good for essentially being able to look at in type of medium average risk type of yield and get a great exposure to that. And then talk about SwissBorg governance. We know that last week and the week prior to that, the genesis, and many people feel a bit unheard. Now we're about to change this by bringing a new proposal to you guys. As you know, my name is Cyrus Fazel, the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. So this morning, people like, why did someone invest last night into thematics, in the gaming one, and redeemed? And MacJax just essentially invested a big amount of money and wanted to essentially withdraw some of it, which is completely fine and understand that. So what is about the whole airdrops? Everyone's talking about airdrops. SwissBorg, we know that this is some token that everyone wants and everyone's talking about it. And I understand it because one of the greatest gaming guilds we have in the Web3 space. More importantly, it's a great digital identity for the gaming industry and in general. So we're not very specific. There's different tiers that will happen. And these different tiers, essentially the higher the tier you are, the more essentially reward you're going to get in SwissBorg tokens. But we want to keep this a bit secret to make the fun out of it. But I heard that there's obviously, you have to invest into it. The second is that maybe you have to do some things on social media. We'll figure that out. Shout out to one of our beautiful SwissBorg, Michael Saylor. I mean, I love the name. Patrick019, love your dog too. He's just accumulating. The guy's just smart. He's just saying like, you know what? The Borg is not yet doing what you should be doing, but it's okay. I'm just accumulating, and I'm going to be able to grow my wealth like that. So shout out to yourself. Thanks for being part of the community and more importantly, supporting us in all different type of times. So much love to yourself, to your dog, and welcome to being Michael Saylors of SwissBorg. Borger Board, this is something that is very important. I think so. Everyone will definitely agree with this, that SwissBorg is all about this community. But if you don't have a community that's stepping into the board, it's always hard to get the best sounded person, because I really do my best, but sometimes, I don't do enough. And that's why people get pissed off. And many other people on the board do that. Anthony, Jeremy, Christoph, and Mr. Zania as well right now. But what we thought is that how can we include you guys even more? And we have so many community members, lovely people that have been pushing SwissBorg like never ever. And this is the time to step in. So we thought that we would have someone come on the board that will have at least a lifetime of 1 year. What would be the role? Essentially, is representation of community interests. That's obviously the number one thing, which makes completely sense. And the main idea is to act as a bridge between SwissBorg and the community and the company itself, of course, ensuring that the community's interests, needs, and feedback are considered in the company's decisions. So essentially, it's really that bridge that will be in both. The number two thing that's very important is essentially advisory support. And advisory support, essentially in general, it's about anything that could give as advice. So we really look for someone who is an expert in Web3, a person that's expert as well into what we're doing in wealth management. And I think so this is something that's really, really important. The person could give any, ideas on how we develop products and services, and how we could essentially have this person to look at different other ecosystems and to see like, okay, this is maybe mission from competition on a SWOT and analyze and things like that. So someone who has a really good understanding of Web3 and of course about wealth management, which is very, very important. The third thing is someone we need to engage a lot with the community. someone who has a mic and that talks a lot on Twitter, that talks a lot on Discord, on Telegram, on YouTube, whatsoever. So someone who could really voice out as well what has been done on the board, but as well be able to create that link, right? So it needs some person that wants this exposure, right? It's not only about giving great advices, it's about as well echoing all these different voices itself. So this is something that's very important. Obviously, this goes very much aligned with We Are SwissBorg, the association that's being built, that's independent from SwissBorg. So you guys probably know where we're heading there. Something to be as well, which is very important, is the fourth role, which is feedback and insights and gathering. I think so. This is something that's very important. Is someone, again, that will collect all the feedback, the suggestions that are coming from the community, and someone that really has been doing that for some time. Last but not least, someone that ethically represents us, right, which is completely normal. And for that, I think so, which is very, very important. We thought that it would be nice that the person at least has 1 year of story with SwissBorg. So has at least, knows us to some extent. It has at least 50,000 SwissBorg tokens. It's written HSV, but it's Borg tokens, sorry. And has invested into Series A at least 5K. I think so. This is something that's important. Like that, the person really has a strong alignment and essentially knows us extremely well. So the Borger Board, right? We call it whatever you guys want, of course. The step would be to fill up an application that will be here, will be very shortly shared within Twitter or within, of course, our lovely community through different platforms. The number two is to make some noise. The person will need to essentially, once she or he applied, to show to the world that she or he is very excited about that. And then essentially at the end of the month, we would like to have the votation happening. And so these are the three different steps. Number one, you fill up the application. We make sure that you're solvable as a person. Number two, essentially, we'll make some noise. Three, then everyone will be able to vote on this. What is very important about this person is that we really need him or her to be present 4 times a year, the minimum. Sometimes it could be physical, which is best, or at least online, which happens as well, which is fine. We need as well the person to essentially be accountable as well. The person that has to represent the community has to be accountable for this. So it really has to be passionate about SwissBorg. For that, I'm pretty sure we're going to find the right people. The third, this person will get rewards, essentially 10,000 francs in SwissBorg tokens for the year. So this is pretty much... I think this is really amazing. I'm very, very, very fortunate to have this possibility. I really had people in mind, but making this vote will make it even more amazing and transparent. I think so. This is something that's really, really good about it. If there's any suggestions that how we could do this even better, please let us know in the comments here today. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. This makes me very, very excited. The whole... crypto has this governance play, and the governance play for me very often is what attracts me a lot too. So I really looking forward to meet this person and make that we build a sustainable business and make sure that our community is put first, like always. Market update. Let's talk about numbers. The buyers are back in town. I think so. We talked about this a bit last week, that we're trying to figure out a plateau. And right now we just broke that plateau, which was a bit faster than I thought, to be honest. Chris was already talking about that in the macro view as Monday, that this was going to be a great week. Definitely we felt that the Monday was already a good sales coming up. So what can I say? Bitcoin over 50,000. This is now, we're in a new territory. The crazy thing is that there's been some inflation that happens so much on different stable coins, so different fiat coins, that actually it's the all-time high for few prices. So it shows you again that essentially, it's a lot of different countries like the Swedish crown or others actually have been performing extremely poorly recently, and this is all-time high for it. So that makes something to be considered in your mind. Now let's talk about the Houston. And Houston, we have debt, right? We know that it's been the total federal debt in the US has never been as big. And if you look at what's happening here, it's just quite crazy, right? The US now has a 17.5 trillion house debt, and a lot is obviously into mortgages, but in general, it's still quite extended. And in order to essentially be able to manage this debt, there's two different ways. You pay it back, or you essentially create more debt. And this is what we believe is going to happen, unfortunately. Everyone is talking about a recession. I don't think there's recessions that happen. There was essentially 2022 was a difficult one. And the markets, when elections happen, but more importantly, markets don't go negative in a very short time, twice in a row. It just doesn't happen. That's how the market usually reacts, and it's very different. It's very difficult to see something different like 2008 or whatsoever. Now that the Fed has been more responsible, even if they're printing as much as money, they're really making sure that the 2008 crisis will not happen again, right? So I've been bullish for a very long time, and you know that, and I think so. This is a good way to show it. Is the federal debt is a huge thing, but is there a huge debt in terms of people into it? And you see that the commercial banks, essentially the credit card loans, has been one of the smallest of all time in terms of debt, right? Household debt is super small. You see at the end, essentially, the household debt payment service, same thing. So all in all, the debt for the US citizens has been very small. And where you see the federal debt is really big, but the personal debt is very small. So essentially what it is, it's that, the federal states and the Fed has been able to give money back to the citizens that are using this money. And there's not an over debt that has happening. What we've seen in 2008, which created this massive bubble, was here. It's when the household debt is not managed in a good way, right? And we see this exactly here. Again, this is subprimes. These are some things that are extremely, hugely scary because, well, things could collapse if it goes from the digital. If it's done by the government, they play it in a way that they will probably roll their debt. It's just a bit different, where that when it's personal debt, things could go just crazy because at the end, nothing is controllable and we don't know who has the debt. And then they're packaged in different ways that the mortgage-backed securities were back in the days. So long and all, what does this mean? It means exactly what we've been planning now for the last year or so, is that rates are going to cut, risky assets are going to pump, crypto is going to pump even better than any of these risky assets because it's the riskiest and it's the basis, and the fact that we're obviously showing that the dollar has been really a poor investment for now a long time. So anything that is emanated out of crypto is probably the right bet, and we're going to see this more and more going forward. And I just wanted to shout out to our lovely Atika here that has been producing a lot of technical analysis on essentially the SwissBorg token, the Borg, that we love so much. The Borg has not yet captured anything on the upside, unfortunately. What does that come from? It comes from the fact that right now the leading tokens is Bitcoin itself, and there's a few other ones, but unfortunately SwissBorg is not yet there. We see that essentially the Borger Bang 20, that we're really ranging here, right, between 16.7 and 17.2. So these are the support and resistance level that we should really look at. And as soon as we probably break this one, that means we're going to be going into new positive territory. A lot of people are speculating that this is probably going to be the big initial pump. What I know is that I love the fact where we're talking more about the Borg. So please make some analysis, give some insights on what you think and how this will bring us to the near territory. Announcement of the week, invest in what millions will play. I think so. This is something that we're very excited. Some people are getting released. I haven't personally. I didn't get it yet. So no shout out on everyone. The gaming thematic is something that has been asked really a lot within the community. I am more than excited to be this. This is something that will definitely enable a lot of people to captivate what is one of the best, let's say, not asset class, but I would say thematic essentially on the SwissBorg, on the crypto ecosystem. We know very well that the gaming is probably one of the most notable industry within our one of the most notable sector within our industry, because a lot of people play it. Half a billion people, half of the people that are internet actually are gamers today, which is huge. So today there's been released to the Genesis. Essentially, there's as well as generation users. We'll be releasing slowly tomorrow for the Valentine's Day, essentially to all premium tiers, and then it'll be open up to all users. As you guys know, the minimum investment is $250. This is in order to scale essentially our smart engine. It's a better way for it. If not, there's a lot of microtransactions that happen, and that essentially doesn't create a good thing. As you guys know, notice in the past, there's some trade errors that could happen, and very often those trade errors are related to tokens that are maybe not liquid, or it could be related by the fact that if you're doing auto invest of $10 per day on a thematic, and essentially you put $1 in every different token, well, then it's very difficult to get those dusts, right? So the great thing as well is that we partner up with SwissBorg for this. This is something that is really, really cool. So a lot of the Prometheus all got this in advance as well. The whole allocation that is behind here has been done as well by essentially SwissBorg, that has really curated these 10 different tokens. And what is very important is that we've included essentially the Borg, which is the gas fee that enables to pay to this thematic, to build this thematic. How the SwissBorg token is this financial freedom token that enables to build this all together. And this is something that's very important, that you should be extremely bullish about it, because having essentially the Borg and all the different thematics as paying as a gas fee for building these baskets of tokens, something very important. If let's say we now have 200 million of assets in these different these different baskets, then the beauty is that if 10% represent theirs, then there's 20 million of purchasing price there toward the Borg. So this is something that I think brings a strong utility. People don't always understand it, but when you use Ethereum, you pay gas fees, right? Well, when you use and you build a basket of tokens, essentially using SwissBorg's ecosystem, so therefore you're paying gas fees as to get into it. So that's pretty much what it is. And of course, we want to bring more utilities to the SwissBorg token. So I hope you guys are excited about that. I am definitely, if you look at all the different, from Avalanche to Step In here, to, I don't know which one this is, but to IMX, which is really the infra, which is great, to Beam. So this is Merit Circle. If you guys don't remember who Merit Circle was, is essentially, it's a bit like SwissBorg, to be honest. There's YGG, which is similar to SwissBorg too, a little bit different, of course, but it has this gaming guild face. Then there's Magic, Exai, and then at the end, Borg, which is the gas fee. It's not necessarily a moonshot, right? This is more the gas fee that you pay. And last but not least, you'll get rewards, the different tiers that will get essentially airdrops based on how much you're contributing, and on many different other factors too, which I don't know, to be honest. I just don't know. The team didn't want to share it to me, so I don't really know. There's 3 different tiers that's in. Some people like Samad is like, okay, I want to have a lot of huge airdrop, so I put 150,000 into the thematic, the baskets of gaming, which makes sense, and it's a well diversified one. And I believe it's going to be something that's going to help in this current bull season. Tokens, as you guys know, it's been green everywhere. It's super green. There's some that are doing extremely well. This beam is Merit Circle is actually into the gaming thematics. IMX is over there too. So a lot of these tokens are actually in the gaming thematics, which is really nice to see. In general, there's still not a lot doing regarding DeFi. You see Aave, SwissBorg token, BNC is still not the ones that are really captivating the market. On the opposite, well, and same to Maker if you look at it, and Curve. But if you look at the gaming is really trying to shine a lot, which is really good because it's gaming thematics week. We see Solana, of course, pumping a lot, which is really nice. And more importantly, we're seeing Bitcoin just going crazy, over 15-17% that happened in the last 2 days. It's just crazy. And I think so this is going to continue going forward because essentially Bitcoin is the only ETF that has, and that's the narrative that will bring us to the next season. Talking about the gaming season, of course, we have to bring some more fireworks to this. We're having actually 2 different tokens that will be listed next week. One is Axie Infinity and the other one is YGG. Axie Infinity, we all know it. It's been the #1 game that has been play to earn. It was really play to earn because it was not that playful. It was really to earn, but has really shaked the world industry and created the biggest amount of users, period, in any Web3 dApp. So congrats to that. There's big ups and downs with Axie Infinity, but they're building new things. And we believe that this token has been demonstrating, it's been in the top 100 for a very long time, and it's probably going to remain there. On the other side, YGG is a really yield guild that enables gaming guild that makes to really bring a lot of people into the games such as Axie Infinity. So those pair very well together. YGG for now is very much Asian market. SwissBorg is really more focused on Europeans, but it's a great as well gaming guild that has a great amount of people. I don't want to overhype you guys, but we had a great presentation earlier about how the Borg should be replaced into our app and done in a better way. I'm not going to share more here, but I know that there's going to be some workshops. I know that Yotso is going to have some smart cafe with you guys. So there's a great way to essentially be able to bring the Borg where we need. So not further than that, I'll let him do the job, and I'm sure you'll be listening and more importantly, participating in how you could bring and brainstorm great ideas. Let's talk about DAI. As you guys, we shut down essentially USDT and USDC yield through Stargate, and the main reason is that we felt that essentially DAI today has a better play. It's essentially some mix between decentralized stablecoin and as well on top of that a yield that's coming from real world assets. So we believe that DAI has been tested now since 5 years. There's been some difficult times for DAI, but it always got back to its peg. The first one was during the COVID, if you guys remember, and then the second one was when essentially Silicon Valley went down and essentially there was some amount of USDC, so it broke it down, but it got back to its territory, which is $1. What we like about essentially what is happening right now is that they're using different DeFi real world assets DeFi protocols to get essentially stable return. Right now it's roughly 5% if you're Genesis or Generation, which is good. I personally have some and I'm enjoying it. Next events, guys, is happening. There's going to be a really cool one happening next week in the Valais. The following will be in Lausanne, and the following after will actually be in Geneva. So Suisse Romandie is happening a lot. Looking forward to have more events with you guys. There'll be Alex, Francois, Jeremy, myself in different events as well. So please bring everyone who is into crypto, who's an expert in crypto, but more importantly, those who don't understand it. A lot of that's going to be shared. That is to educate people, to bring the train has already left, but it's stopping at different venues, and it'll be in Valais, Lausanne, and Geneva. So make it happen. Gans Reminder, just for burns, for Guardian rewards and safety nets. These are 3 different choices that you could have. Please scan it here if you haven't. And the 4th Guardian is about the acquisition campaign. It's going to be 2 different ways. Plan today or tomorrow. Planifiez aujourd'hui, profitez de demain. No, plan today and win tomorrow. Sorry. So that's really cool. Looking forward to see how this is going to happen. Weekly, some Borg data going very well in terms of premium, almost 500 people got the premium, which is great. We have as well a little uptick, 8%, and 152,266 people. So nice uptick in terms of holders in the app. We're seeing that more and more people that are getting into the SwissBorg app, which essentially is 250 and 150 that are depositing, or the conversion to get to Borg is much better than it used to be. So we're probably doing something better in the home and whatsoever, and understanding how people could funnel down to buy some Borg and get to be premium. This is something that is very important that we'll talking about in the future. But as we get to hopefully 5x this, right? Not get a 200 people, but let's say 1,000. How you then convert, 800 people to buy Borg? That'll be something really good on a daily basis. Community and guests, cast your score, guys. Last week it was 5.0. This week is not great yet, I don't think, but I think so we'll have better essentially numbers going forward. 5.4 is still a little up 10% from last week. Pretty much everything is slightly similar to a little uptick on different things. Just activity has been a little bit slower. Borgers, I hope you guys are big fans of the thematics about the new tokens that's been adding with the gaming all around. I hope you guys are very excited about this new governance play. I think so. This is for me one of the most important things that we could do is not only offer great wealth management products, but as well how we change this with this community aspect and how the governance goes to you guys and how we together brainstorm on how we bring financial freedom to all. And I think so this for me is definitely one of the game changer that will enable us to grow, to really be able to, as a community, to get better and to show to the world how we're different. And right, that we move from this client business thing to really a community-centric ecosystem. And I think so this is, I'm very, very, very excited about this. We tried many different things. This is definitely one that will work very well. I'm very, very optimistic about this one. And I have a lot of people in mind. So if you think that this is something you're interested in, please apply for it. And if you think there's people that should be part of this, pull the hashtag Borger Board or something better, and you tag different people. I will remain a bit neutral in the beginning. I think so. It's the best, but I already have people in my mind. So I'm looking really forward to it. As always, guys, be wealthy, be healthy, love our Borg and equity. Much love. Take care, guys. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.